Morning, Year 5s. It's Wednesday, and it's time for our reading. We've read Tom's Midnight Garden before. I can't remember what the metamate was because it was a while ago. But we've definitely seen this text before. So have a little skim read, and then so pause it if you're having a skim read, and then come back and we'll have a look at the answers. So the first one, how does Tom feel about his holidays? Now, at first, you might be thinking, "Oh, he's not going on a holiday. That's strange." Or you might think that where he's going is his holiday. But you've got to read this first bit. It's kind of like the first paragraph across. The first two little paragraphs. These holidays, they would have built a tree house among its branches. So basically, in here, he really looks forward to his holidays, doesn't he? He's the fact that it says so joyously. No exception to the rule, maybe potentially that bit. Climb freely. These holidays would have been building tree houses. So, how does he feel about the holiday? He always looks forward to them. It could be as simple as that. He always looks forward. Remember, it's top to deduction, so you need a little bit of evidence. So you see, Tom always looks forward to the holidays. Because he always finds them joyous, and he builds tree houses, something like that. Do you think the reader would feel sorry for Tom? And why? Well, I think yes, because he's clearly being sent somewhere that he doesn't want to go. And that's evidence within the first page or two. Next one, what evidence is there that Tom is angry with his mum? Now, the trick with this one is don't get confused with Mrs. Long, because there's a lot about Mrs. Long that's speaking. Here you go, here's his mum. Do try to be good. Again, that's Mrs. Long. It's hard to get the mum bits. Here we go. Tom wound down the window. So the way that he said goodbye, saying goodbye then, goodbye then, you could infer that's going to be said with some attitude. I think it's the then for some reason. And then again, when the car's moving, he shouts back, "I'd rather have the measles with Peter, much rather." So there's your two pieces of evidence: the way he says goodbye, and the last thing he says. Oh, you've even got he waved goodbye angrily to his mother. So there's a couple of bits, but it's quite a way down. What impression do you get of the house Tom is sent to? Again, lots of skim reading needed here. So we know he's saying bye to his mum here. He gets in the car. Driving in silence, still driving. Sounding the car horn. Here we go. Yeah, so rocking up to the house. As he looked round, he felt a chill. Here we go. So the whole of the big house was not mean, nor was it ugly, but it was unwelcoming. Here it lay at the heart of the house, for it was central from front to back, with a sideways part of a T-shape. Lovely. So the impression you get really is that first sentence, and then it kind of expands on it. So you get the impression that it's a large, empty house that's not scary, but also not cosy and welcoming, because it clearly says it wasn't ugly, so it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't exactly a welcoming house. Maybe it was quite bare. So there's a couple of things there, but it's just quite a way down the text. Why has Tom had to leave? He actually tells us, doesn't he, when he says, "I wish I had the measles." On the next page, I think. I'd much rather have measles. And there's also a conversation, isn't there, that about making sure it doesn't spread. And then the last one, what do you think the reader might think of Mrs. Bartholomew? That is going to be towards the end. Aunt Gwen. It belongs to old Mrs. Bartholomew upstairs, and she's rather particular. Clock. So it's only this very last bit here. Obviously the house is Mrs. Bartholomew's. Then he's told not to touch certain things. She's upstairs. So there's very little to go on. The impression you may get is that Mrs. Bartholomew is quite an old person who doesn't like change, who likes things a certain way. You know, if her house is quite empty and unwelcoming, he's not allowed to touch things. You know, the screws have rusted in. Maybe she likes things the way they are. It's a tricky one though, tricky one to end with. Well done with that. I know I rushed that a little bit, but I am trying to practice being a little bit quicker. I'm going into work this morning to try and see how long these videos take. So apologies if that was a bit rushed, but hopefully I'm at least pointing out where you need to look, okay? And thank you for doing that.